Try to set good. Good evening to all of you. So let's start with the session. All right. So this is the second session on interview strategy of IIMs. Right. So this is basically for CAT aspirants, and this is related to personal interview and how do we prepare and what are the do's and don'ts, etc., etc. All right. Okay. So before I start, I'll urge all of you to like and share and then subscribe this channel. And please don't forget to click on bell icon so that you can get notifications for my further sessions. Acha. One information with respect to Unacademy workshops. So there's a workshop. Just hold on. So Unacademy is conducting a free workshop, and this workshop is for CAT 2021 students. So it is already started on 13th, 13th to 16th is the session, and 17th will be the assessment test. Okay, now let's get into the agenda for today's session. So agenda for today's session is, first we'll be talking about profile building. So, and then some critical questions that was some queries in the previous session. So I'll talk about some critical questions and how to handle those critical questions and some sample questions from different academic backgrounds. Now this profile building part is very crucial, right? And then uh, how can you build a profile? But is it possible to build profile in all the different sections, or some sections can be, and so on. So we'll discuss all those things. All right. So the most important thing over here is, in the interview, what exactly happens? See, after clearing the CAT examination or common admission test, so you are called for second round. Now, in the second round means you have got WAT, writing ability test, and personal interview. Fine. Now, what is checked in CAT? In CAT, it is checked that you have a desired aptitude level. Fine. So your aptitude level is desired definitely. So what else they'll check over here? So in personal interview, they'll be actually checking about yourself, or rather your personality. So that means the whole sum of yourself. Fine. So the point comes in is that if they want to know you, you should also know you, and you should also project yourself, right? The first thing, you should know yourself and you should project yourself accordingly, right? Now, so you project yourself means you have to tell that you are this kind of person, you are like this and you are like that, right? So then only they'll understand. Okay, so if you introduce yourself to some people, so how do you introduce? You say I'm like this, I'm like this, right? So this will be a conversation only, right? So that is one important part. Now, if you understand this, so let's understand the first point is, they want to know about you and your personality, fine? Or rather, let me put this way: they they want to know about your academics. Means, were you serious, or are you serious in the academics? Have you studied something in your graduation or whatever with the applicable course, right? So that they need to know, so that they'll understand. Okay, so they'll understand, okay, the names are sorry, the uh, this candidate is serious enough as far as the his or her own study part is concerned. What else? Is the candidate capable of thinking, logically thinking, or is the candidate capable of thinking in a tough situation? Right. So, what are the strengths in his or her own uh, characteristics? What are the weaknesses? Right, etc., etc. Fine. So all those things we'll be discussing one by one. So one thing is pretty sure and clear, that can the interviewer wants to know about yourself, right? So you have to prepare yourself. So let us see how to prepare yourself. Fine. So the first part is academics. So this academics will be applicable, mainly will be applicable for the people who are fresher. Fine. So who have appeared in the final year, or maybe just after passing the graduation. So for them, there is a good chance that they'll be asking about what are the subject you have studied, and then in your graduation or whatever with the previous course you have studied. So graduation, what are the subjects, and then they'll ask what are the favorite subjects, and then there is a good chance that from the favorite subjects they'll be asking questions. Now, what type of question? Right. So the questions will be on concept based. So very simple question they do ask, but your concept should be very, very clear. And then there is a good chance that they'll be asking the application of the concepts or application of the theory, whatever you have learned. So the applications also, you need to prepare yourself. That means whatever be the theory you have learned, right? What are the applications? So if it is not there in the book, you get ready with that. Right. So get ready with the applications of the theories. So see, you go for one favorite subject or two favorite subjects, right? So don't worry, right? So they will be asking what is the favorite subject, and accordingly they'll be asking questions, right? It's not that they'll be asking from any place, right? I said. So if there is any graph, so you should know the graph well, and then what is the interpretation of the graph, and what are the applications of the graph. So all those things you should know it very well. Fine. So that means they may ask to go for a graph, right? So graphical representation of whatever you are telling, right? And then applications of that. Right. Now, what else? If you are a fresher, so if you are a fresher, so in your graduation, you must have gone for some projects. You have done some projects, or maybe you have done some internships, or maybe some researches, or maybe some seminars you have actually attended or you have conducted, right? So you should be thorough with all those things. Thorough means you should know what exactly you have done and what are the outputs, etc., etc. Fine. So all those things you should be thorough, right? So this will be the academics as far as the freshers are concerned. Now, if you are a working professional, so there is a very high chance then they will not be asking about your favorite subject. They'll be asking about your job. But what will they ask? They'll ask about the role you are playing in the organization. What are the responsibilities you are handling? So that means actually they will be trying to gauge what are the skills you have, what kind of job you do, and what kind of responsibilities you handle. So they'll try to understand or gauge what are the skills you have, right? So do you have those managerial skills with you, right? So those things they'll be trying to understand, right? I hope this part is okay. All right, so now let's get into the next one. All right, now let's see. It is about yourself, right? Now, what are the things which are very much required? Chats, chat, chat. All right. So now see, it is about yourself, right? So what are the things they will be actually looking for? First is, so one is academics. Academics I have already told. Now they would like to know that apart from academics, what are the other things you have done? Extracurricular achievements. What are the extracurricular achievements? Is it that you have only studied the books or you have done something else, right? So apart from your academics, if you have done something else, so you have to project all those. Now I'll just tell you all those. What are the all those things? Next is hobbies and interests, right? Now look at this part. So do you know the difference between hobbies and interests? This looks a similar, right? So interest means the things which you are interested to do. But hobby is what? Hobby is also like that. You are interested to do. So there is a difference. What is the difference? There is a connection also. There is a difference also. So what is the difference? Difference is hobby. It is the intensity of the interest. So interest can be many things. All right. So you are interested to play basketball. You are interested to eat food, etc., etc. Right. Now, if I'm talking about hobby, that means the extreme level of interest. That means generally hobby is a single, right? So that means you know in and out about the hobby. Say for example, your hobby is say for example uh, gardening, right? So if your hobby is gardening, so that means interviewer will be having will be having a feeling that you should know everything in and out about the gardening part, right? So that's what the difference between hobbies and interest. So interest may be more than one, hobby is generally one, right? Now next will be strengths. So in your personality, there are certain strengths you have. Say for example, you are very punctual, right? So there are many. So I'm not giving you anything, right? Strengths are there. So you may be punctual and you may be many other things, right? So that means, so this strengths, do you know all these strengths? And then they can ask that how, give some incidents where these strengths actually helped you. So if you are telling that this is my strength, right? So that means these strengths should help you. Fine. So that means get ready for 2, 3 incidents where your strengths has actually helped you. So my suggestion is, if I'm talking about strengths, uh, get ready with at least 3 strengths. All right. Anyway, how do you get the strengths? How do you know your strengths? You know something about yourself, but is it always true that you know you can be biased towards yourself? Yes, no. So if that is the case, then how do you know? See, it is suggested this way that you note down your strengths, whatever strengths you feel that you have. Then you ask the people around you. So, for example, you ask your father separately, your mother separately. The same thing. See, what do you feel? What are my strengths? So note down all those. Don't be biased in the whole process. Right? Ask your brother, your sister, your friends. So Generally there are two types of friends. One friends are very close friends who are always pally with you, right? So there is another type of friend who actually criticizes you also, or always in touch with you in both the cases, right? So that means I'm talking about there will be some critics and there will be some people who are actually not critics, right? So take from them also. And then you note down all those, then you actually know how people actually perceive your strength and what you perceive as your strength. And then you jot down what are the strengths actually should be told. You cannot tell all the strengths. There will be some strengths which cannot be told in the interview, right? So there will be some good professional looking strengths should be there, right? So for these, you have to just work on this, and then accordingly you just take some guide and work accordingly and then try to find out. Similarly, it goes for weaknesses. So how many weaknesses are there? So at least be ready with three weaknesses. And then if it is weakness, that means you are supposed to improve. Then what are the actions you have taken to improve? All right. So those things you need to know. Right. So that means introspect. You have to look into yourself and then you just look back. What are the actions I have taken? If I have not taken any action so far, I should take some action, and I have to tell them also. Right. So it clearly indicates that you cannot say that no, I have not taken any action because weakness. I'll carry out with this weakness. Right. So what will happen over here? So that means you are actually rigid. That indicates that you are rigid and you are not interested to change yourself, or rather, you are not interested to improve yourself. So that's not a good idea. Right. Okay. So so this is how actually they judge your personality. Now, this is a very interesting and crucial question. Major changes so far in your life. So you may be very young. So what are the changes? So you need to find out what are the changes happen and who was responsible for this change. It can be who, it can be what also. I'll just give you example, right? Say for example, if I give you say you felt that you want to learn karate, right? So So learning karate means what? You become physically fit or mentally also you have become powerful, right? So there may be someone who actually inspired you to do that. That can be a situation, right? All right. Now it can be something like this. Say there will be a dream for you that I want to be a person with muscles. So you want to join gym. So you have a dream that you want to become a person with the muscles. So that dream is actually responsible to make you land in gym, right? So that dream that I have to get the muscles in place. Okay. So I'm just giving an example how actually the changes happen. So that means you don't want to. You are a very lazy person. So we were a lazy person. Now you are not a lazy person. You actually go to gym, you work hard, and then you become a different person altogether. Fine. So there's a huge change in your life. So similarly for other changes are also there. I'm not telling. So there are many changes. It depends on, it varies from person to person and so many things over there. All right. Now let's talk about core values. So what are the core values? Now, what are the core values means the values you actually inherit from your grandparents, parents, or from family, that are core values. Fine. And then you also have or acquired some core values on your own, right? Say for example, say as I give an example. So see, one of your core value is you fitness. Fitness is a core value for you. So to become fitness, you do all possible things, right? Now that means the point comes in that if your core value is to become fitness, now then you do have any connection or any incident where this fitness has helped you or fitness has affected you in the whole process, right? Any incident or any kind of thing, right? So for example, some accident happened, so and then you are the fittest person over there, and you somehow manage to rescue people or those kind of things, right? So it can be core value something like this, that you like to help people, right? So if you like to help people, so maybe you have joined in uh, uh, joined NGO, and then you are working on behalf of the NGO, right? So that means there are a lot of incidents where this quality that you want to help people, these are being demonstrated at many places. So those incidents are to be uh, told over there, right? Now I'll tell you how to tell all those things, right? So in the whole discussion, we'll tell you all those things. Next is a career goal. Career goal means this is a very simple question. Okay, what do you do, right, after doing MBA? Why do you want to do MBA, right? So that means, why do you want to do MBA means, after doing MBA, what exactly you want to do. Now, what exactly you want to do? Is it that only professional goal for you, right? Or do you have any personal goal also? Do you have any social goal also, right? So you need to look back and check it out, and then accordingly you prepare your answer. I hope this part is clear, right? Now, if you look at all those things, if I go back, extracurricular achievements, some achievements are already there, and some achievements still you can, right? Some extracurricular things still you can achieve, right? So there are, let's talk about all those things. Hobbies and interests, whatever is there, it will be there only. So you may not be able to change much. Hobbies, so it will be very difficult to change. Interest may be added, right? Strengths, though you cannot do anything, it is not in your control. Strengths, whatever you have, strength is you have. Whatever weaknesses you have, you can improve that. Strengths, you can utilize that, right? Just you need to explore what are those strengths and weaknesses. So major changes so far happened is already happened. You just need to look back and see that what actually responsible, or who are the person responsible for this change. Core values is already inherited. You can acquire some more core values, right? Career goals, of course, you can look back and keep on checking what are the career goals, what are the career goals, what you want to do after 10 years, after 15 years, and so on, right? So what I wanted to point out is, so there is a chance that you can go for some more extracurricular achievements. Fine. So if it is possible, so where it is possible, so if you are in sports, right, and then you go for some competition, and then you, and maybe you have already done some you're done with some competition, achieved something, right? So you can do that. I have put others. Others means what? Others means I'm talking about, say something like you have won debate competition in district level, state level, or national level, those kind of things, right? That's it. Now, what you can do is, this internship part is very crucial for you. You can go for some internship. So to have some first-hand experience, right? So you may not be getting too much of experience, but you will be getting some experience. So you can go for some internship in some companies. So it can be paid, it can be free also. It depends on how you bargain, right? Now, one more thing you can do, that you can go for some case study competitions. So uh, what you can do is that there are, say something like you have uh, IIMs, different IIMs, IIFT, MDI, all these different B schools, they actually float case study competitions, right? So you just check their websites, and if you get these competitions, you participate over there. If it is individual, it's good. If it is group, then you make a group and participate over there. So what happens is, you get an exposure, and if you get some recognition from there, so it's great for you. Fine. At least you know how to study a case, and how to analyze a case, how to find the problems, and how to find the solutions for the problem, right? So those things you do, So you actually increase your knowledge, right? So that is very, very important. All right. Okay. So why knowledge is important, I'll come separately. Now let's talk about some special do's over here, right? As far as interview is concerned, first is your physical appearance is very important. One is the attire is very important, right? It should be very, very generally acceptable attire, right, in the whole process, right? Apart from that, I put a point good and positive, right? So good and positive means your the way you walk in the interview panelists, right, or interview board, right? Your body language should be very, very positive, very positive, very, very good looking or good feel. So your face should indicate that you are feeling good in the whole process. You are feeling very positive in the whole process, right? When you enter the room over there, interview room. All right. So that your physical appearance should be so positive. That means the people in front, they will find yes. So this person is very positive. So you can very well interact with this person. You should be well mannered. Well mannered means all possible things. Something like if they tell you to sit down, then only you sit, and when you sit, you say thank you, and etc. etc. So well mannered, you know, well mannered means what I am talking about. Okay. Next important thing is eye contact is very important. You should go for eye contact. Whenever panelists are asking any question, so you should answer eye to eye. So it's eye contact. It should not be here and there. So your the answers are being addressed. Fine. So eye contact actually gives the confidence both sides, right? From your side, from their side also. So both sides the confidence is being built. All right. Now, as a person, you should be energetic enough. So, why I'm telling energetic? You should be energetic enough because the person in front, see, please understand this thing. The interviewers are taking interview throughout the day. So, it's a very tedious job. It's a very boring job and it's very tiresome job, right? Now, if they find a person in front who is energetic, so that means they also get some energy to ask some questions. All right. So those things are very important. So you should be energetic enough. You should be easygoing. Easygoing means what I wanted to mean is you should be smiley, right? So that the person in front also will understand where. So this person is very easygoing or approachable, right? So those kind of things which are very, very important, right? Now you can use a little bit of humor also. Fine. So, as I told you that throughout the day they take interview. Fine. So, as I told you, this is a very tiresome one. One person comes in, so they ask questions, and then answers are given. Then another person comes in, similar questions, right, and similar type of answers, maybe a little bit different answer, right. So, if you use a little bit of humor, they also will be liking that. It's not that it will be a negative one. Okay. Now, the most important thing, volunteer the information. Now, what I wanted to mean by this, volunteer the information. Now, I wanted to mean this that, see, they want to know you, right? But do they know you? They only can see you. So, you have to give them more and more information about yourself, right? What I wanted to mean is that, see, understand the problem. They'll ask a question, you say yes, this is this. They'll ask another question, they'll say yes, this is this, right? So every time they'll keep on finding what is the next question I should ask, what is the next question I should ask. Instead of that, if you put this way that any question whatever is asked, you say the answer and then you just don't close the answer over there. You last one or two lines, you say those things or those qualities you have, which or on which they can ask further questions. So this is a technique you have to develop. right? So that what happens, if you say something like, apart from that, I also do this, and apart from that, I also like this, then they can ask more questions on there. So if they ask more questions on that field, and you are master in that field, you know that field, so that means the interview will be in favor of you. You can answer well that side. So this is a technique you need to follow. All right. Okay. Now, two important points over here. See, the interviewers are generally the professors from IIMs, right? So, from the college, from IIM only, right? So, these people are generally these people have work experience as well as uh, maybe the experience with respect to training given to senior management professionals, maybe consultancy experience, and definitely those people are PhD, right? So in that case, apart from that, they also know that the profile of the students whom they are going to take interview. So they also prepare themselves. They also prepare questions. They also prepare. They also study and come. So that means whatever be the answers you are giving, it should be very, very proper or very, very accurate, right? So that the interviewers are also finding it is okay. So this person knows something. It's not that the person is not knowing anything and just be shallow and answering something of that sort, right? So what I wanted to point out is the knowledge is very important. So they actually appreciate the knowledge. So you should have some knowledge. Fine. So you have to build all those knowledges, right? So it is all about knowledge about yourself. So you should have some good knowledge about yourself, your the people around you, the things around you, all those things. You should have some good knowledge. So that's what it is talking about. All right. Okay, so far, if you have liked the session, so please like, share, and subscribe the channel, and please press on bell icon so that you can get notification of my further sessions. All right. Now, if you want to appear in CAT 2021. In Unacademy, there are some courses which have started and which are actually going on. This is started 11th August, 14th August, and all those, right? So these courses are already started. You can enroll there. And then there is some offer going on with respect to 12 months subscription. If you take, then 3 months is extra subscription you can get free, and similar for 24 months subscription. Now there's a scholarship test happens. This is called Unacademy Combat every Sunday at 12 p.m. So you can write this also. All right. And if you want to join Unacademy, you can use my code also PRAY10. PRAY. PRAY10 is the code. You can use this code to unlock the app. All right. All right. So as of now, whatever we have discussed is you have understood that it is about yourself, right? So if we look all those things, whatever the points we have discussed, so you have got some idea that how to prepare about yourself, and then you are ready as of now. But that's not the end of the whole story. In interview, at times you get some critical or tough questions. What do you mean by critical or tough questions? Critical questions means, see, I'll just tell you in advance. So this kind of critical questions generally they don't ask. So if you are not able to answer well about yourself, answer well about your academics, etc., then they will be asking something which is may not be in favor of. Fine. So what happens is you just prepare about yourself well and whatever the points I have told, right? So that you will be able to answer about yourself well. And of course, there will be a technique to answer all this. So you have to learn that. Okay. Now, if you are not able to answer well, or maybe by chance you have told some words or some sentences which are not very acceptable. So in that case, you can get next critical question. So next critical question means, I'm just putting this way. The critical question is something which is, say, something like it's a controversial. So I'm not putting the word controversial over here. Actually, I just put this way, that they'll be asking your opinion on a particular incident, right? Where there are lots of points in favor of the incident and there are lots of points you'll be finding against the incident. That means what happens is, when you are giving some point in favor, that means there will be some counterpoint they have always. So that means, so points are available in favor as well as against. I'll give you example, don't worry. So if you say any point, so there is a counterpoint of that. So what I wanted to mean is, say for example, uh, on a lighter note, I'll just give two examples. One a lighter note, right? If they are asking what kind of marriage scenario you will be preferring, is it arranged marriage or love marriage, right? So anything you say, there will be some other questions, right? So you need to understand, yes, is this a very critical question or it's a trap for you. So that means, anyway, whatever you say, there will be some other point against, right? A little bit more professional type of thing. Say if it is given that what is your take about the demonetization done, right? So this demonetization, was it good or was it bad? So in that case, what happens? Once again, you have got many points which is in favor of demonetization, and you have got many points against demonetization. So if you put any point, you will be always finding another point. So the moment you get this kind of question, you need to know that you are being questioned once again. So anything you say, there will be another question. Fine. Okay. So how to handle? I'll just tell you. Now, there will be another type of question which is actually critical, ethics related question. See, if you are absolutely ethical person, it's absolutely okay. So, if you are not that, then it becomes a little bit difficult. Ethics related question can be something like this. Say, they'll ask this way, that uh, have you ever done cheating in college during examination? Fine. So if you have not done, and if you have said absolutely okay, you have to stick to that. Yes, I have not done means I have not done, right? Or if you have done, you can very well say politely, yes, in one or two situations I have done. And there is a good chance that in the whole life, the people have done some type of cheating, maybe a very small or maybe a very big at times. Not necessarily be are very big. It can be some ethical issues which are small, right? But still can be there, right? So how to answer this kind of question? See, ethically, whatever is correct, accordingly you can carry on, right? Whatever your stance is, you just put there. If they are pressurizing you hard, if they are telling that, no, no, why are you telling this? He is absolutely not correct. So in that case, you should go whatever with a positive thing which you should do. You go for the positive thing and then you can stick to that, but of course, politely. You cannot be very rigid. If you are very rigid, then they'll say, okay, you are a rigid person, right? So all those qualities or characteristics are being checked over there. So that means any controversial question or any question where you have many points in favor and against, you know that there will be a problem. So whatever best possible or positive possible points, you give that point. So what I wanted to mean is, say if it is told about demonetization, right? So if you have positive points, you say all those positive points. Fine. So if you say all those positive points, they'll say some point against. But at the end, one thing is very clear that you think positively. Right. So your personality traits are being actually depicted over there. I hope you have understood what I wanted to mean. Is that okay? Fine. So generally my suggestion will be you answer positively. And as you know that if you look at big business persons, right? Do you feel that they take all the decisions which are in favor, or they don't have downs? They have always ups, ups, ups. It's not like that. They have ups as well as downs. Fine. But one thing is pretty clear and sure that all these people are very, very positive and they work positively. So work positive means what? There'll be some setback. So and positively you come back. Right. If you are positive, then only you come back. Okay. So this kind of thing I'm talking about. All right. So that means you just answer whatever with a positive note or positive tone you have. So don't go for a negative one. Right. So negative traits, if you put negative points, if you put, so it indicates that you are a negative person. So it is not good as far as you are as a candidate. All right. Now, so more or less, I'm through with the things. Now I'm talking about some sample questions. So these are all different questions which are asked at a different time. Fine. Now, one thing you need to remember that whatever you write in your form about your hobbies, interests, and strength, weaknesses, they'll ask all those questions from there. And these sample questions are only questions which are related to your subject area. So generally, basic concepts they do ask, and then maybe they'll be asking something like an application of all this, right? So simple conceptual questions they'll ask. Say, for example, if you are from agriculture background, so there are these kind of questions they asked earlier. Say, what are organic fertilizers? As you know, there are a lot of organic things which are being sold in the market. So organic food and are being sold. So you can have that organic fertilizer is what and why are they better than chemical fertilizer, right? So as an agricultural guy, you should be able to answer technically. Fine. So you may have this kind of question also. As of now, you can find that there are a lot of food materials which are being sold as organic material. So what do you mean by organic? So what are the advantages? So those kind of things. Okay. Now, say for example, if you are a political science student, so polity related questions they may ask. Say how the president of India is elected, how vice president is elected. Fine. Polity related questions. Sorry, just 1 minute. So if you are economics student, right? So in that case, they can ask, what is economics of scale? Economics of scale is very important uh, term over here. So you should know, right? And in MBA also you'll be learning that. And what is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is also another very important term, right? So what are all those things? So technically you should know all those things. Okay. Acha, if you are an electrical engineer, so it can be what is high voltage DC, HVDC, right? So what? So in the transmission, there are transmission losses. So what are the measures where so that the transmission losses can be reduced? So there's a term called corona. So CORONA. So it's actually connected with that coronavirus. So it's not actually that. Corona is a term in with respect to electrical uh, transmission, right? So what is a corona? And the corona is connected with the transmission loss also. Okay. So this kind of thing is there. Okay. So more or less, these are the things you have, and uh, the questions I in my previous session also I have discussed some questions. So if you please watch my previous session, you will be getting some knowledge about uh, PI related thing, and this session also you have attended, so you'll be able to get some idea out of that, right? And I am now one of the educators in Unacademy. So these are all different YouTube sessions are going on. And if you join Unacademy, so you can use this code, and then you can attend my sessions. This is mental and faster calculation techniques. This is ratio proportion, practice of previous year CAT questions, time, speed, distance, and so on. Right. So these are all more classes over there. So if you join over there, or see, for these classes to attend, you need not to join. You just download the app and use this code to unlock PRAY10, PRAY10. So you can attend all these classes. These are all special classes. These are all free classes. So you can attend all these classes, right, and enjoy the sessions, right? So if you have liked the session, so please like, share, and then subscribe. And of course, you click on bell icon. But one more thing, please put your comments in the comment box so that it can just motivate me, or it can give me some feedback, right? So that, yeah, I can improve. Okay. So thank you very much.